Hey, we're back. Yo, we're back. Continuing the first session of Scales of Power. The Dungeon Master is our good friend Drew Murray. We left off on this interesting little cliffhanger. Our party has some options of stuff to do. It's a situation where a lot of people need help, and we have no idea what's the best thing to do to help Twin Harbor in general.
Mm.
Have no idea.
So, we left off where Eridu and crew, because this is the Eridu show now,
Oh, yeah. You know it.
uh, is going back into Twin Harbors to seek out Bredis and see what can be done. So you go home, you get some rest, and then the next morning, heading down into the sewers, just waiting for Bredis to come to
Just standing around in the middle of the street, just like waiting for Bredis to show up. Just
you.
so she appears as a rat, right? Every single rat I see, Bredis. Bredis?
Breedus.
Bredis?
Breedus.
No, I'll go to the sewer to try to find her.
Okay.
Do you need?
Uh,
are you like having the rest of us come along with you, or is this like a personal conversation that you want to have with Breedus?
It doesn't matter. I trust you.
Okay.
Let's have everyone there.
Yeah, sounds good. Eigner
He
won't let
was.
you leave by yourself.
We don't want to split the party.
Shows what you know.
Bad
dan-
things happen. when
It's
you split the
dangerous,
party.
dude.
It's
Yeah.
true. That is what I have heard.
So we're in the sewer.
You're in the sewer. You head down there and you see two large badgers standing, growling in the pipe, staring at you.
Greetings, badgers. we are.
Why is this so funny?
Greetings, badgers.
Greetings, badgers.
Uh, we are here to see Bredis. Is she available?
Both of them stride forward with one paw, almost in unison.
These are real badgers. No. What now?
What?
They step forward with one foot and growl.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Are you are druids, right? You're not badgers, real badgers.
One of them then turns to look at the other, and the one that is being looked at then transforms into a humanoid shape and draws from his back a quarterstaff and points it towards you.
Do I know this druid?
You do recognize him as someone that you've seen, but you didn't learn their name. He was a background extra.
I am Eridu. I have been here to speak with your people many times. Why do you defend the sewers from me?
Bredis no longer speaks for us. We follow Tix.
And who is Tix?
You need to leave.
Quick question.
Mhm.
Alton saying, CK or X?
X.
Alton
TYX.
speaking. Oh,
Um,
YX.
Mm.
We're not leaving until we speak to Breedus.
Uh,
He then transforms back into a badger and looks at the other one, growls, and almost barks. And then the badger that hadn't transformed turns and runs down the tunnel. So the one that had transformed into a humanoid shape is now stood blocking on its own, still staring at you.
I do not wish to have an altercation with you. I would like to speak with Tix. I would like to understand what is happening here. Why would you want us to leave? I have worked tirelessly to help you in many endeavors.
He stares silently, looking between you, Eridu, and Domni.
I'm gonna sit down crisscrossed and stare at him back. If we will have a silent game or we will stand at an impasse, that is how it should be. I understand that your companion has gone to go warn the others, and I am sure Tix will come here with orders to kill us, or some other irrational way of handling said situation, because for some reason me being an ally of Breedis has made me an enemy of you. But that is not how things need to be. Again, I have tried very hard to help you. Then I am sorry if you are dealing with an internal conflict of philosophy. That does not change the fact that I am still here to help you, all of you.
He transforms again into a form that appears half-elven. Drawing his coarse staff yet again, he now stamps it into the ground next to him. Less of an aggressive stance, not pointing it at you.
So I'm gonna put my hand on Domini, and I'm gonna like pet her, and then so I'm gonna tell her telepathically to look like she's seen something she wants to chase, and then cast Bee Sense on her. And to go like have an idea of to get an idea of what's going on in there.
Okay. Could you give me a deception check for Domini, please?
Oh, for Domini, holy crap! Hold on a second, let me pull up your stance. While I'm doing that, I will roll. No, it's not going to be great. Come on now. Get off of there. Here we go. Deception, you said? Yeah. We're gonna assume. Oh wait, where's my die? Which one did I? Should I reroll? I forgot which one I rolled.
Yeah.
Reroll.
Okay. I straight up forgot which one I rolled because they I rolled and then I looked over and they were next to each other and I was like, oh.
Fine. Reroll.
12. I'm assuming 12 because she has no proficiency, but she's got a negative in deception, so.
Right. He glances down at Domini, and is Domini then going to run past?
Yeah, she runs it as if she sees something there, and then so what she's doing is she's going to run around as if she sees something. Because I mean, this is a game we've been playing. That's actually something I've been doing in this game. Where so she runs around as if she looks like she's, just playing and trying to chase something. But now I have Bee Sense, so I can actually see what she sees while she's running around. So I can have an idea of what's going on in there.
Yeah. So she's running past the druid.
Yeah. She looks just like she's playing.
Yeah. He glances down at her almost suspiciously, but then turns his attention back to you and bothers her no more.
Okay. So just so you know, I can now have a good idea of what's going on back there.
She starts trotting down the tunnel as she starts approaching and opening to see wider areas. The young man in front of you says, I am Dormund. I followed Breedis as far as I could. But now she has some fanatical ideas that we just can't support. So a change was needed. That's all. You don't need to concern yourselves.
What do you mean?
Uh,
What's the difference between Breedis and Tix?
Breedis wants to find some way for us to remain here, but just be with the Feywild here in this world. Tix offers us another way, a less destructive way. Tix is offering a way for all of us to no longer be subjugated and feared within Twin Harbors. Tix has a way for us to no longer be in Twin Harbors. And so we've chosen that path. Breedis had her chance.
I understand. It is much like a pack when an alpha becomes no longer strong enough to care for their pack, they are replaced by another alpha. Tell me though, has this resulted in the pack accepting Tix as a new alpha, or is there a divide amongst you?
Everyone accepts that Tix's path is the right one. Breedis and her followers are being kept out of the way.
Will Vretus and her followers directly interfere with the plan that Tix has to allow you to no longer be part of Twin Harbors? Will they keep you from achieving this goal?
Not so long as we keep them out of the way. My associate has gone back to fetch a token from Breedis to let you know that she is still here and still alive, and she is being cared for. It's just that last night she decided to sneak away. So we've had to take further measures, make sure that she doesn't get out again.
Insight check.
Please.
Yep. Nuts.
Are you rolling it, or I could roll it? I've got a pretty decent insight. I'm kind of leading this conversation.
Yeah.
No, but I this is me. Like I mean, you can if you wanted to, but this is Alton who is.
I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna roll a 19, so I got a 24.
Okay.
24.
11.
You guys got this.
I am the de facto insight person in this party.
I also have a +7 to insight. I just happen to roll a 4, so.
Yeah. Alton, you get the feeling that there's something in his tone. Eridu, he's deliberately talking around something. He is being vague.
Will you release Breedis and her followers to me? And I will continue with the plans that I have worked out with her so far. This will not interfere with your plan unless your plan causes damage and destruction to the lives of the people of Twin Harbors.
It's not my call to make.
Then please put me in contact with the person who can make this call. I'm assuming that is Tex.
At that point, the badger runs up. During all this time, Domini has managed to work her way through a number of tunnels, and also managed to catch the scent of the first badger that ran off. But there's another scent on the air, something that Domini's not encountered before. This is a strong smell of tree bark, but softened by like a strong honey smell.
Hmm.
It doesn't smell like food.
It doesn't smell like food. Okay, I mean I can't control her. She's not a familiar, so
Okay.
whatever she does is what she does. All I can do is just
See.
hold on, what are my
Yeah, what are your senses through there with beast
Yeah,
sense?
that's what I'm checking right now.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, so to see through the beast's eyes and hear what it hears. So I didn't even necessarily smell that.
Let's say you do. Let's say
Okay.
You
That's
smell
up to
it,
you.
dude.
I guess to a certain degree that makes sense because, like, I'm a beastmaster, so we'll just say I'm more in tune with my beast than a normal beast, like a normal creature.
Makes total sense.
Likewise, those particular rules are written from the perspective of like what is useful in a narrative, not what is realistic for an animal.
Right.
And being able to describe things in a narrative through the sense of smell when dealing with an animal that relies heavily on the sense of smell makes more sense. And I would go
True.
with. And the rules as intended is likely that you get to experience what this animal's experiencing, rather than the rules as written is you get to see and hear it.
Yeah. Okay. So Domini chases this smell while keeping an eye out to see what she can see, because she knows what's going on. You and her have been pulling this trick for a while.
Right.
She eventually manages to find her way to the large chamber that you've been in before, where there were lots of druids around, sort of like a communal area. Things here have changed, though. There is now a cage set up in one of the corners, and in an opposite corner, there is this large mass that appears to be fungal.
Okay.
It is taking up an entire corner. You, judging from Domini's senses and getting a sense of scale of everything, you reckon that this thing is probably like 3 meters across by about 3 to 4 meters tall, stretching up to the ceiling.
It's a pretty decent size. It's technically large. Because 3 meters is like what, 10-ish feet, so it's a large.
Yeah, you gotta translate for us stupid Americans, Drew.
Oh yeah.
Get smart. 3 meters is 10 feet.
Yeah.
It's really
because 3 meter or a meter is about 3-ish feet. So, math.
Yeah. So yeah, it's we're talking like 10 or more feet across. But yeah, it's a massive patch of this kind of mossy, lumpy, stringy thing that seems to be the source of this strong smell, the sort of bark and honey. However, upon entering there, a couple of the few druids that are sort of sat around, they perk their heads up and look over at Domini, at which point she pulls her head out of there and returns to one of the other tunnels, at which point she sees the badger that left on its return journey, and so she follows it back. Which we return to where we are here.
The other badger comes up.
The badger comes up, drops to the ground where there's a slow trickle of what seems to be mostly clean water running through the middle of this tunnel. Druid bends down, picks it up, and Norman presents to you a small brooch, which you know that Breedis wore. See, she's fine.
This is supposed to convince me that she is safe and unharmed.
It's hers. Yes.
You see this sword in my belt? You see that if I were dead, and someone were to take this sword, and I give it to my companion Eigner here, for instance, and say to him, you see this sword represents to you that your friend is alive and well, and I have him safely kept away. An object is not a person. An object does not distill security and safety. It is a thing. It could have been taken by force, it could have been taken off of her dead body. Let me put it to you this way. I will see Tax and I will see Brutus. We can do this the easy way, and then I'll put my hand on the hilt of the sword. Or we can do this the hard way.
Damn, boy.
Gonna roll my newly empowered initiative. Not initiative, but oh, it was gonna be a 17,
Intimidation.
and it rolled to a 3. No. It was such a good
Wait.
speech, too.
Um,
Are you gonna
is it-
stand behind me all menacing, give me advantage?
That's what I was thinking. I mean, like, obviously, like, you mentioned me, so I'm kind of in tune to the social situation, and
Make it with advantage.
yeah, dude,
No,
I'll
it's a three.
definitely.
It's a total of 7, because I rolled a 3 and a 2.
Oh my god, dude. So we're both just standing there looking tough, and it fails.
To be fair,
completely.
the reason it's probably failing is because Eridu hasn't stood up. He is still sitting crisscross right now.
You can't make a good threat when you're in a
When you're-
crisscross applesauce position, dude.
Yeah, when you look like you're about to meditate, you can't be too threatening. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, dude.
The other badger transforms into another druid, who draws from his belt 2 strange daggers. They appear to have a curved, not hilt,
Pommel? Cross guard?
there we go, thank
there
you.
we go.
A curved crossguard coming up either side of the central dagger itself. The blade seemingly smooth. It's almost like this is just a stiletto with a couple of curved bits of the crossguard. It's a
Is
strange weapon.
Is it a metal weapon?
It is a metal. It's not a metal weapon. It's wood.
Okay. Okay, because I would have rolled an insight check on that, because that would have said a lot about these druids if it was.
It's not metal. It's wood.
Obviously.
Okay. Clearly, the whole thing is made of wood.
Can use metal. They just can't wear metal.
It's pretty clear on the druid class that they are not allowed to have objects that are made of metal.
Well, they can use swords.
Can they?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
oh. Well, I'm wrong.
It's just
Look.
they can't wear, like I said, they
Metal
can't wear
armor.
metal armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are rebel druids anyway.
Exactly.
Right?
I was gonna be excited about that. Look at you guys forsaking your druid ways by using metal weapons. Oh wait, you can. Shit.
Yeah. All right. It's back to being metal. These are metal psi.
Metal Psi.
Yes.
Yeah, because they can use maces and javelins and scimitars.
Okay, so he's there standing with his 2 psi. The other one with his quarterstaff brings it forward. And they both stare at you all. You are not progressing further down this tunnel. Breedis is fine. She is alive. Be on your way.
Eigner, how should we handle this situation?
I would advocate for more diplomacy, but to be honest, they're stretching my patience to its absolute thinnest point. I think it.
I was good.
I was just gonna say that. No, you go. You go.
I was told if ever it came to combat, I was to surrender to your mastery.
You're absolutely right about that, Eridu. I'm glad you said that. If it does come to combat, I call the shots. And when I call the shots, and I'm going to look at the 2 of them, when I call the shots, I always win.
People die! All right.
Okay. Give me another intimidation check with advantage.
Hell yeah. You know
I will stand up this time.
Please do. I thought that Eigner would be better at intimidating, but he's really not. He's just like a big softy. And that came across in the 6 and the 7 that I rolled, so he's got a total of 8.
Now, just for clarification, Domini, is she still behind the druids? Let's say
I
that
can
she.
control her.
Let's say
Is
she's.
she within 30 feet?
Yeah, she'll be within 30 feet.
Oh, then I will tell her to and this is the first time I've actually like used a bee sense. So it's kind of weird for me to like see myself.
Weird.
But I'm gonna tell her to like go right behind the middle one and just start sniffing around as if she's not a threat. But if shit goes down, she becomes a threat.
Okay. The one with the sigh crouches down, shifts position. We said, leave.
Oh, okay. How am I going to do this?
How are you going to do this?
I am going to
I don't want to like
Misty
be rash.
Step.
Oh, okay, yeah. You do something because like I just don't want to go like off the rails. So
I'm
do
going
something
to
creative.
Misty Step so that I am behind Dormand, and I'm going to draw my sword so that my sword is like, so I'm like, it's like resting against his, like the tip of it's resting against his side. And I'm going to whisper into his ear, I will tell you one more time. We can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. But you should understand that every single time I've had to draw this blade, it tastes blood.
You feel his muscles twitch in an aggressive action. Everyone roll for initiative.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't want to be the one to do it. That's all. You know, like I wanted
It's
Asa
not
to
your
do
fault.
it. Really,
It's not
it's
your
not my fault. It's all this guy's fault, dude.
I wasn't planning on making another intimidation check because I already failed the first one. And I just didn't,
You and me both, man.
I didn't think it'd be fair to the game to keep on like doing intimidation. Like at a certain point, you've got to act.
Yeah, for real.
My initiative is 18.
Yo, my
14.
initiative is 10.
It's in chat too.
Cool. Alton?
14.
Cool.
Did not roll well.
Everything Eridu does is vaguely sexy.
It's true.
It's all just dripping with this sensuality.
Okay.
I'm a little jealous.
Right, and by the way, just for the sake of like the narrative, right is like pretty much right as soon as I see like Eridu pop over behind the guy or whatever, like I just drop defense.
Okay.
That way I'm not trying to have combat in reverse.
Yeah.
Right. So, what happens first is as you feel this twitch, Eridu, your muscles tighten, ready to react, but the water in the tunnel quickly runs away further into the tunnel, and it all goes dry at your feet almost as soon as you transported. And you can hear this rush down the tunnel as it builds and starts crashing down towards you.
Oh dear.
And as it gets close, it then picks up, twists itself into a near solid spike, and then stabs towards you.
Oh
Please make
wow.
a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity?
Yep.
Alright. That's a 16.
All right. So you take half. You hearing this and feeling something coming, you manage to quickly twist out of the way, taking only 7 damage.
Alright.
As the water seems to splinter and crack apart, as if it was not quite ice, still in a liquid form, but it feels sharp and freezing cold crashing near you. So you just feel a little shaken by that. But it is now your action. You've still got the blade around this guy's throat.
It was pointed at his side.
Sorry.
But,
Side.
yeah. I don't like it. as I twist to get out of the way of the water, and these shards of like water just kind of slice into my side. One of them catches my hand, like causing me to jerk and lose the grip on my sword. And I rolled a natural one.
Ooh. Oof.
I drop my sword. It gets caught up in the flow of the water, and is carried in whatever direction the water is going.
Okay. So Eridu, would you please make either an athletics or acrobatics skill
I
check,
would.
please?
Happily make the acrobatics because I have a plus in that one.
Beat a 19.
I didn't. I got a 13.
Right.
Pretty high,
So
check.
as you lose the grip and aim of your blade, and sort of swivel Dorman round, he uses the momentum to swing his quarterstaff around, strike across your chest, and then use the momentum again to push forwards and press you against the side of the tunnel. You take 3 damage from the quarterstaff strike, and then he pins you against the side of the wall.
All right.
The other young gentleman, whose name is Bastion, decides to yell his name so that you know it.
Bastion! We're suddenly in the never-ending story.
Yep.
He leaps up and dives towards.
Me.
Let's see. Odds or evens, Kyle?
Evens.
Towards Alton. Missing, however. He leaps forward, stabs forward with both daggers at the same time. Alton immediately draws his weapon and parries, ducking and rolling out of the way. It is now Alton's turn.
Wait, did Alton just do a dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge?
So I'm going to move Domini behind this guy, and then cast Hunter's Mark on him, and then stab him with Zephos and
Wait, I thought you left the Zephos behind or something?
No, I left. No, I didn't leave my Zephos
You
behind.
left
I left
something
my bow
behind. Oh, the
behind.
bow. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and my daggers. Except for my.
I thought the Zephos was the dagger.
No. Zephos is
It's like that curved
is the short sword.
Ah, okay, cool.
Like think 300. The movie 300.
Okay. All right, like that style.
Yeah. Yeah. The only dagger I kept was my Picreus. Anyway, so I pull out my. Or I had to stab with my Zephos because reasons, and then I slash with my Copus. So let's go with first. No, I'm gonna totally miss with that one because it is 9 to hit on the first one. And
Yeah, a 9 misses.
Yeah, a 9. I was going to assume a 9 misses, and a 15 for the second one for the Copus.
15 misses.
Oh, okay.
As you swing it around, he then brings up his 2 daggers and catches your blade between his 2 weapons.
Oh shit.
Okay. I have used my Hunter's Mark. Okay, which is fine. Okay.
Yeah. So where would? Because you can use the bonus action to move to sort of issue commands to Dominic, can't you?
No, not yet. Not until next level.
Ah.
And even then, I use my bonus action to cast
Hunter's Mark.
Hunter's
Yes.
Mark
All right.
because I am not Laura Bailey.
Alton, it's Eigner.
Okay. First of all, Drew, is this a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reference?
See, I realised that, so I've sort of written down that actually I want to change his name from Bastion to Rufallen.
Yes.
And they're going to have two mates, Leomore and Mechan.
Yes. Teenage Mutant Ninja Badgers.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Badgers.
Teenage
Oh, I
Mutant
also wanted to make
Ninja
sure that we turned them
Batters.
into turtles, because if the reference wasn't already driven home enough.
No, we need to, guys.
Right.
We need to avoid copyright issues. We've been dealing with this the whole time. We can't do turtles. It's got to be badgers.
Oh right, yeah, that's right. Right, totally. Can't
As long as there are 3 degrees of separation, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. So these Teenage Mutant Ninja Badgers are
they're
Druid,
actually human
Druid Badgers. Teenage
and they
Mutant
turn to
Druid
badgers,
Badgers.
and they have different names. That's 3 degrees.
Yep.
We've
So-
also changed the coloration of their like eye mask things.
Yeah. So
They're not eye master belts.
the
They're-
point
yeah.
is. The point is that they're going down. So
So to speak.
I only see the 2 of them,
I
right?
don't want to beat up the turtles.
And I'm kind of like in between the 2. You got Eridu pinned over here on the side, and then you got
Yeah.
Alton in the melee with the other. And
Yep.
I know that Alton's a little more capable of taking care of himself, has a little more hit points going on. So and he's got Domini also. So I'm going to go try and flank the one dude, or at least actually I'm gonna try and just mess him up and
Yeah, he's got his back to you. He's got to be pinned up against the wall.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go mess him up, dude.
do it. You get
So-
advantage.
Yeah. So I'll get the move action over there.
Mhm.
I will do an attack first of all. Rolled a 1 and a 9, which is not sweet, but I've got a 16 to hit.
16 hits.
Okay, cool. So 16 will hit. We'll go ahead and
15.
we'll go ahead and use the superiority dice. And
Okay.
dude, are you ready for this shit, dude? I'm gonna do the disarming attack.
Ooh.
That's what's
Yeah.
up. That's one of my new maneuvers, dude. It's pretty hot. Boom. Not great on the damage, but that's okay. So that's 7 damage, and then he has to make a strength saving throw of DC 14.
No, not making that. So, yeah, you managed to immediately disarm it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the 7 damage.
What does that look
Uh,
like? Considering he's got me pushed up against the wall with his staff across my body. Like, how are you gonna get in there and disarm this? I want to see this.
Okay, well, I'll do I'll do the initial slash across his back, which will just catch him by surprise, and he'll kind of do one of these things where he just goes like, ah, and then he releases the hold on you for a second, and then I'll just go with another thing and just use the flat of the blade to catch his quarterstaff and just rip it out of his arms, and it just goes flying. And then I get to use a bonus action because I got the Shield Master thing going on. So it's like I got the slash up with the flat of the blade to disarm him, and then pop, gonna try and get him with the Shield Bash.
Do it.
That's gonna be my athletics check versus his athletics or acrobatics. I think that's how that works. Pretty sure. I got
22.
I got 23, dude.
Oh,
For real. So motherfucker is knocked prone.
Nice.
Dude, Eigner saving the day like always. Fuck, yo. You're welcome, Eridu.
Thank you, Eigner. I needed this very much.
Yeah, dude.
As you knock Dormant to the ground, as he splashes down into the water and bangs his head, you notice a small amount of blood come out that almost immediately gets pulled by the rest of the water, pulls itself up into a stalagmite of water. You can see the water moving around inside it, the blood staying at the top. It then elongates into a spike pointing directly at Eigner, and then shoots forward. This blood water just shooting at him. Dexterity saving throw, Eigner.
Okay, so no, you're gonna love this though because I get like a little bit of a bonus here. The Shield Master feat is like actually pretty dope because it lets me. Oh gosh, hold on a second. I'm messing up here. If I'm not incapacitated, I can add my shield's AC bonus to any dexterity saving throw that I make against effects that target only me, and if an effect allows half damage on a success, I can use my reaction to take no damage.
Oh snap!
Sick.
I actually need to check something real quick because I may have taken no damage from that last attack.
Ooh.
Okay.
Alright, whoo! I rolled a 19 plus 2. Yeah, 21.
Pulling the shield in front of you and leaping into the air. It splashes against the shield, knocking you back just a couple of feet, and then you manage to land poised, ready for a counter strike.
Ugh! You ain't got shit on me.
No, I don't get the monk evasion thing yet. That's later.
Word. Eigner seriously feels like a superhero sometimes. Like, he's such a badass. Love this.
Eridu. So now this quarterstaff has been taken off your throat. You get a huge gasp of air that you're finally able to take in, and you're ready for counterattacking.
All right. So looking down at Dormont, is he? I mean, I know he took a bash to the back of the head and he's bleeding. Like, how is he looking though? Is he still getting up?
He's awake, angry. There's a popped pupil in one of his eyes, so he's also a little confused. But you can see that he's channeling his rage.
Well, I'm gonna channel my ability to punch somebody on the ground, which gives me advantage.
Do it.
All right. So the first attack is a. Oh man, I left my things. Oh, suck at this. There we go.
You are
17 is my first attack. I got it.
yeah.
17 is my first attack to hit.
Yep.
And my second is a 10, which I'm assuming is gonna miss.
Yeah, 10 misses.
Depending on the damage I do here, I might pop a key point and do 2 more attacks. It's 5 damage to the first. Like, I like to do a quick, like, one fist in the face and one just like lands on the stone right next to his head. Is he still pretty conscious?
Yeah, he is still angry. As you punch him in the face, you see him try and gnash at the air where your fist just was as you pull it back. He's trying to bite you.
No shit. I just rolled back-to-back crits.
What?
All right.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. So I'm spending a key point, making 2 more melee attacks, back-to-back crit, which gives me a grand total of, that's 46. So these are 3 of them. That's 11, 20 damage.
Nice.
Atta babe.
Is this enough to incapacitate him? Because I want to do something if it is.
It's not enough to incapacitate him. As you throw these punches, you can see him trying to wriggle out the way, but you manage to pummel him straight into the face with every punch. He seems winded, but still going.
I'll like bare my teeth and say, "Do you surrender, Dormand?"
Never to surface scum.
Damn. Guys, I'm sorry. We're surface scum.
We're surface scum.
I didn't realize that until just now. He's right. It's what we are.
It's because none of us are rats with...
Keep on forgetting that I have advantage whenever I have Domini on the other side.
Yeah.
I just never take advantage. I keep on forgetting.
Oh god, against the...
It's my fault as a player. It's my fault for, like, it's my job to manage that. I'm just, like, kicking myself because...
No, it's because Domini did like the classic thing that pets do, where you want them to do something, but then they just take a nap. She just like went on the other side to
Right.
flank, and then she just turned around and like went to sleep.
Oh, what is your armor class? Is it?
Mine?
Yeah.
16.
I saw it was 15 on the thing, and I just took a guess that it would be 17 now, but I thought I'd actually ask rather than.
No, it's 16.
Yeah, that's my
Cool.
bad on having the outdated stuff out there.
It's fine. It's fine.
Because I upgraded my armor, so it's now 16.
Yes. Okay. So. And
Oh, Josh, in chat. No, never mind. I have access to it. Don't worry about it.
so. The recently renamed Rufallen, rather than Bastion, again starts stabbing forward several times at Alton. And every single time Alton's managing to parry. One, as he begins to parry it, pushes his own blade very close to his own face. Rufallen leaning in close. And then he spits directly into your face.
Gross. I love it.
Dormand then lifts his leg and tries to kick Eridu to get him off him and roll over. But unfortunately, Eridu is applying too much pressure on top of him. He isn't able to get a good solid reach on his legs. And so he just struggles underneath you, also lifting his head to try and headbutt you, to no avail. He's struggling and splashing around in the sewer water. Alton.
Yeah, I've got like my forearms like pinned against his shoulders. Like he tries to kick, I wrap his leg up with my leg. We're kind of like in this grapple now, and
Ooh. Stop being
It's-
so sexy while you're doing it.
we're both wet and splashing around in this bloody water. Oh, it's
It's getting
it's
so
intense.
It's so
And it's
sexy.
so violent.
Okay,
Just
so
starts ripping of its own accord.
Right?
here's the narrative of what I'm doing. So I'm going to take my Copus and I'm going to basically slice up. We'll see what the damage does, or what the attack does. But I'm essentially going to try to slice up either like in his torso or in his neck or whatever, depending on everything, with the Copus, and then leave it there, and then grab my Sunlight Blade, use my bonus action to light it because it takes a bonus action, and then slash at him with the Sunlight Blade.
Nice. Okay.
The first one
Roll
with
it.
advantage this time. And I'm glad I took that. It is it's natural 15, so it's number
So it's 16 or
22.
higher hit.
yeah 22.
Definitely.
And then second one, that is 22. So
Sorry, was that the damage roll?
yeah, those are damage rolls.
Dude. So, right. Okay.
No, not
Jesus.
damage rolls. Attack rolls. Sorry.
Oh,
No, that would
Oh.
be insane. He would die.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, so that's 2 hits.
Yeah, that's 2 hits.
Nice one.
So the first one is 9 damage.
Okay.
You roll. And the second one is another shitty ass roll.
Yeah, I've been sucking on
also
damage
9.
too.
So 18 damage total.
Yeah, 18 damage total. Because I had a 3, a 2, a 2, and a 1.
So that's 1 with the Copus, and
So
then
yeah,
you
the one kind of like slices upwards, and then I kind of grab the light sun blade, pop the blade, and then kind of slash.
Okay. As you cut across, you manage to cut into the skin of his face, and he immediately launches himself backwards and drops one of his sai to hold the side of his face, pulls it back, sees the blood, He slowly moves his eyes towards you. Eigner.
Okay. I'm just gonna make like a quick little perception check just to like help decide something for me. Um. Yeah. So I kind of set like my own DC just to like see if like in the middle of the combat, if I saw that whole thing go down between Alton and the Psy guy, you know.
Right.
But I rolled low enough to where I don't think I see it, so I'm more concerned about this dude that's still on the ground with Eridu. And I think instead of like doing another attack, Eigner is gonna try and do the more Eigner's gonna try and do the more like somewhat merciful thing, and he's really gonna try and get a good intimidation check going on. And then if the intimidation check fails, then he's gonna, do something drastic. So he'll go ahead and find a way to put his sword down so it's menacing him in the face, but it's also not in danger of hitting Eridu. And he'll say, "This is your last chance. Stand down. Give the order." And I rolled.
Make it with advantage.
Sweet, thank you. I already kind of took that into account, but I'm glad.
Yep.
I'm so glad. So with my addition, that will be a 19.
Okay. Could you also make an intelligence saving throw? while you're
Oh,
there?
interesting. Yeah, I can. I can't tell you how successful it's going to be until I roll the dice. Oh, natural 18, dude. So chill.
Nice.
So chill. Look at it. All right. So, does my mind still get blasted with something though?
You feel a tinge of remembrance, like you've been here before. You've got a strong sense of deja vu going on. But
Oh.
anyway, your intimidation. Anything in particular you're saying?
Oh, yeah, I said stand down. Give the order.
He begins to cough, some blood splattering into the water. Rufallen! Stop! Then he collapses and closes his eyes. He seems to have fallen unconscious for just a second or two, and then sort of... Get off me, elf.
Stop being
Before
all
I do,
sexy.
I'm going to perform a medicine check on him.
Okay.
So you're just like all wrapped up on him, like I got
It's
you.
going to be
I
a
got
very
you.
forceful medicine check.
I'll take care of you. Don't worry.
That is a 21.
He is concussed. You can tell that he is dizzy. If we were to put this into standard context, he would have the effects of poison in terms of conditions and things.
Yeah, I'm gonna be grabbing his face and looking into his eyes and pressing on part of his nose, and like turning his face from both sides, and then stand up and look down at him, offer my hand and say, "You're going to need help. You're going to need help walking. You shouldn't move too fast."
I'll be fine. Just let me up. I need to stand.
I'm gonna help him up and kind of give him the support of me.
Rufallen bends down, staring at Alton, picks up his sai, and starts scraping them against each other. Before Dorman shouts back, "Rufallen! Stop!" And then he flicks them round in his hands, stabs them into his belt, and he gives you a forced smirk, and then wipes the cut along his cheek again. walks away.
Wow.
But yeah, Dormant will sort of half put his arm around you, Eridu, as you lift him up. He vomits slightly into the water that's now started flowing down. Yeah, he starts sort of making a walk down the tunnel and then realizes what he's doing. You can't come.
Thank you. It is regrettable that we had to damage you so.
You should stay here. You shouldn't come.
What are you
Your
gonna?
people need our help. Demond. Your path was not the right one in the beginning, and I do not feel that you have learned from that lesson.
He begins walking down the tunnel, with you supporting him. A few turns as you're being led. Rafallan taking the lead, occasionally looking back at Dormant. He then leads you to that large communal room, and you all see and smell this massive fungal growth in the corner, and you see the cage, made from what seems to be sewer weeds, twisted around each other and hardened by some sort of sap or some hardening substance, formed into bars. This cage seems to be a quarter sphere set into the side of the wall, keeping these people in. They have injuries. Most of the people in there you recognize as druids. They have amputations. You see Bredus laying up against the wall, 2 other druids attending to a side. There are 3 others inside there, so 6 in total, and Bredus's legs are gone.
Wow. Eigner,
Racer.
Yeah, I'm only gonna turn to Dormont. No like inflection in my voice, no emotion in my eyes, and just say, "Now it's time for you to explain exactly what it is you think you are doing."
A couple of other druids stand and look over, but Dormant says to you, I would recommend a peaceful route. You won't get out of here alive otherwise. And at this he collapses down to one knee and vomits again, and then keels over. He's unconscious, but you can tell that he'll be fine with just some rest.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna again kneel down, check his pulse, and then I'm gonna pick him up and move him to what might be a more comfortable place for him to lie down.
You find a collection of skins and things that will be suitable as cushions. Rafallan, with a sneer on his face, wanders up and down, looks a few of his fellow druids in the eye, ones that aren't in the cage, and then turns, sort of taking up a center stance, almost like he's taking charge. And then he draws one of his sai, but holds it so that the handle is pointed upwards, and he points the handle of the sai at all of you. You have penetrated our home.
So to speak.
We recognize the help you've given before. The help you gave Bredus. We don't recognize any position of authority that you might hold on the surface. We don't recognize the lords and ladies up there. Down here, your guests. We said no further. You've pressed further. State your business, then you can leave. He looks over towards Breedis. She is unconscious at the moment.
Our business is that we're taking her with us. We cannot allow you to keep dismembering people of your own kin, your own kind. We will save her from this.
She is one of ours, and we deal with our own. She decided to incite the people against ticks. She has a violent streak. She doesn't want the best for our people. She wants to do what she wants to do by force.
So this is how you deal with it? This? How is this civilized in any way?
Can I make a medicine check on Breedis?
Sure, make it with a disadvantage because you're at a distance.
No, I was gonna go walk up.
Okay. As soon as you start approaching towards the cage, you will get opposition. Druids standing up, getting in your way.
Tell me, Raphael,
Try me.
have the others in these cages who are missing body parts also committed crimes against your people?
They chose Breedis over ticks. And the druids in front of you, one draws 2 long swords.
Wait, in the last one?
Nunchucks.
Right. So I'm assuming you wanted me to pull intimidation, right, on that one?
Well, as soon as I see that, I'll say, Alton, stand down. We're talking.
And I am assessing. They want to get in my way, they can.
We can't
But-
assess with weapons. With your eyes, with your words. Please, for just
They
a
can
moment.
I can assess without their force. We walked up, they attacked. They can stand down for me to judge.
Make your intimidation check.
14.
After hearing the argument back and forth, they both sort of laugh, looking down on Alton, and return their weapons. And they step aside, the one with the 2 swords, giving a very sarcastic bow and waving you towards the cage.
And I go ahead and release the blade as well, and walk up and do my medicine check.
All right, make your medicine check.
Not great, but not bad. Where's medicine? There we go. 14. What I'm looking for is like the kinds of scarring that I would associate with torture.
You see the physical scars and the emotional wear in people's body language of torture. You also see that Breedis's legs especially have not been treated at all. That her time in this absurdly cold, damp, and in this area, dirty sewer, you'd be very surprised if she didn't already have an infection of some kind.
Okay. I'm going to turn my head, not fully turn around, and say, do your treatments include what is the word I'm looking for? War crimes. You are in conflict. You are at war. And this is no way to treat a prisoner of war.
We have no such laws, no such rules governing our kind. You surface dwellers may well have all these instructions trying to keep each other in line. Here, among our people, the only laws that are required are those of the people, the laws of nature.
What
We'll keep our
aspect of
own counsel.
nature? What aspect of nature allows you to treat a living being in this way? This is a corruption of your beliefs.
He lowers the sigh, puts it back in his belt, and then you see him reach for a pouch on his belt and sort of fiddle with something. Eigner, give me another intelligence saving throw.
Okay. 16. These are all like +0 rolls. I'm just getting like nat fucking rolls. Dude. This is so chill.
Again, you're getting this strong sense of deja vu, and you can almost feel the pressure on your eardrums of a very loud, booming voice. The one that you don't quite remember hearing.
So just to be clear, that whole vision or whatever that I had at the very beginning, is that something that I remember as if it were a dream, or it's like just very fragmented and I'm like getting little glimpses of it every now and again?
I like that the confusion about whether or not it was a dream can be part of it. So the entire thing that I said to you, the details of that are clear to you.
Okay.
But whether or not it's a dream
Uh-huh.
or how it fits in, you don't know.
For sure. Okay.
Mm.
So
I'm going. Are you still? Yeah. You're still
Oh,
listening.
I was just gonna say that Eigner will like visibly, like it wouldn't take much of an insight check to be able to tell that Eigner like visibly just checks out for a minute, you know, just like spaces out and is like off in his own little world of thoughts, like, yeah.
Zarkon
Ooh.
then appears over Rufalin's shoulder, sort of peers down to the pouch, sort of makes like he's spotted something, and then goes, and then disappears.
Yeah, Zarkon's such a naughty boy.
Sarkhan. I'm gonna with like the sleeve of my shirt like wipe the blood from Dormon's face, and not even looking at Rafalin, just kind of tending to his friend. I'm gonna say, if I understand your ways correct, it is very similar to a pact mentality. I do not pretend to know all the ways of the Druids. I am not one. But I do not know how it is in nature. But I have not seen animals put their own kind in cages. I have not seen animals prevent their pack members from limping away from their injuries and dying on their own. It is clear you do not wish to treat those that you feel have wronged you. And that is natural. They have been injured, they will die, or they will live based on their own merits. But you're not even giving them that. You are keeping them locked away. Is that nature?
Not even. This is more than they're not even giving them the ability to heal themselves. They are slowly destroying them actively. They are wounding these, innocent or no. they aren't just stopping them. They are destroying them. I say to Eridu.
Everyone, including Domini, with a separate check, but Domini can make it with advantage. Everyone give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Okay.
So she is.
I rolled a 1.
Me too. No. No.
So
Why?
if there's no critical fail, it's
Why?
a critical fail if there's a critical fail.
Ugh.
So
This is the worst
Hold on,
time.
give me 1 second.
Ah.
So she is. Okay, so she's 19. Wisdom saving throw. I am
Ooh.
18.
While this is happening, can I grab my staff and then just kind of like be waving it over Dormond and using the cure wounds part of that staff and be like working to heal him?
as you begin to do so, Alton sees your arms drop by your side. As for a moment you are stunned, and then you regain your senses very quickly, and are able to then use the staff. Eigner, similarly, for a moment, just all of your limbs go loose, and you feel like you've just moved very, very quickly, and then stopped, like you've been riding on the back of a galloping horse for a minute, and then just all of a sudden halted. But you haven't moved. You're all still in this room. And in the corner, the fungus begins to look as though it's moving, shifting slightly. Something from inside seems to press outward, and this bulge begins to erupt from the fungus against the wall. A shape emerges. 2 large crests ending in horns, and a central one. The head of some demon or dragon is pushing its way through, and you see the tip of this crest, this crown, piercing through, and it is bone grey. And that's where we're going to leave the session today.
Oh my god, dude. What?
I love it. That's great.
Oh my god, Drew, you like knocked it out of the park with this one, dude. Like
Yeah, buddy.
the intro to this one is like so like crazy because it just seems like everything's just going to take a dive off of the diving board into the swimming pool of shit and fire, you know, like but in a good way, in a very like dramatic way. Like, oh man.
Oh my gosh. It's
Wow.
good stuff. All right. Well,
Just so
that's
you know,
really
the
good
guy
stuff.
that I was, I still have hunter's mark on him. If they make a move, blade comes out. Domini and I move in flanking position and slash.
I am prepared for either fight breaking out, escape, or discussion. If a fourth option arises, I don't think I'm prepared for that.
Tea party.
I'm just saying.
Tea party.
That if they make the wrong move, this is my prepared action, or this is my prepared surprise move. If they make the wrong move, dude's dying.
Well, remember that for next week. And
Yeah.
thank you for joining us for episode 6 of Voloheen Winds of War. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, to see what happens with this crazy demon dragon thing coming out of the fungus.
I have no idea what's going on.
Wonderful.
Ah!
Hopefully, we'll roll more natural ones.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
you can count on that, actually.
I know, mine is still sitting in the tray. So sad with its little. Oh, it's still there.
Let's own up to it, Asa. Let's just own up to it right now.
The one.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what
That's
though?
real.
You know why I rolled that?
Yeah.
I was not rolling my hero's fate dice.
Yes. Exactly. That's exactly it.
Wrong
That's what you
dice.
The wrong
Yeah.
dice. So, again, thank you so much for being with us today. Hope to see you next week for more Volohin Winds of War. Take care, everybody.